I knew that this was my shot to win Commonwealth individual gold, and that if I let this slip through my fingers, it was a very big opportunity that I would have missed. We were on the line there, both lining up, both in a pretty tired state, both feeling quite sick after having gone very deep in the two previous rides. And we were just about to go into what we knew would be a very important ride for both of us. When we were presented off the line, both of us were staring each other out, making sure that our eyes were on each other to know where we were on the track. My game plan heading into this was to not allow Jason to carry too much track speed behind me. I tried to carry a fair amount of height on the track to mean that if he did try have a quick run at me, that I would have enough sort of potential speed to run off from the top of the track. I then tried to move up and down the track for a bit there to make sure that he was having to follow me essentially, otherwise he would have been distanced too far back and not been able to keep up. As we come through 2 to go, we're still carrying quite low track speed. This is intentional on my behalf. And then as we start to come into turn 1, I start thinking about lifting the pace, and I'm trying to keep my eyes fixed on him. And then as we enter the back straight coming out of turn 2, I start to put some power down. This is a really important point. He climbs the track and I come up to match his track height. Through here I'm out of the seat and I've got my eyes matched on him, and we're really both going full out, but I'm holding back just a little bit as we come through here. And the key moment is when I drop down into the back straight in that last lap and I put my head down, and that's driving for home. That's 100% no looking around, no tactics, and that's where the race is won. That's sort of the critical success factor, was making that move and executing it. As soon as I crossed the finish line, a big rush of adrenaline hit me. I remember taking my hands off the bars and pumping my hands in the air, and that was a moment when I had realised that I'd just won the individual sprint at the Commonwealth Games. And then as I came to the pursuit line, I saw Anthony, and I took my left hand off the bars and pointed at Anthony sort of in recognition that we'd done it. And then just after that moment, that was when the fatigue started to kick in, when I started to realise how deep I'd gone, and then the nauseous feelings started to kick in. Then the next lap I rolled up to the fence to see my parents and sort of share that special moment with them. All I could say was sorry. I couldn't speak. I remember then resting my head on the railing of the track and saying, I've got to go. And that was the point where I knew that from the effort I was going to vomit sometime in the next 30 seconds or 30 minutes. So I had to really make my way as quick as I could into the infield and try keep myself clean before the medal ceremony. And I ended up vomiting a couple of times after that ride from going so hard, and then I had to go through the recovery protocols that are required to make sure that I was ready for the podium ceremony, but I also had another race to go after that. So that was where sort of some of the sports psych techniques came into it, to really enjoy the moment but also make sure that I was mentally and physically ready to go back out and compete for another gold 2 days later in the Keirin.